We are in the middle of National Sexual Health Awareness Week, which is a great time to open up the dialogue between you and your teenage kids.
Dr. Mary Jo Podgurski is here with some tips on how to get that conversation started. Why is it so important to have these conversations, these open conversations with teens about sex, love, relationships, and to be honest, I never had these conversations when I was a kid.
Most adults didn't.
Yeah.
And that's why it's hard for us to do it for our own children.
Yeah.
But if we don't do it, they're going to learn from the internet. They're going to learn from their friends. We don't allow anything else to happen by chance.
Right.
We teach them how to do oral hygiene. We tell them how to cross the street. This is important. Relationships are important.
And I think that's the key here, is that you're talking about relationships and being safe and healthy in those relationships, whatever they may look like.
Exactly. And what we do sometimes as adults is we forget that there's all kinds of relationships.
Right.
We need to teach our little people how to have healthy relationships with friends and then build that up to more than friends.
Right.
So we start in the beginning. Do you have trust? Do you have honesty? Do you have kindness?
Yeah.
Do you have respect? And that just changes by age.
Right. Yeah.
So when they get to be 15 and 16 and think they're in love, if you've started talking to them when they were 3, it's not going to be hard to talk to them then.
Right.
Your kid can say to you, you know, I feel something more for this one.
Yeah.
It's not just a crush. And then if you've opened the door and the conversation's good, maybe they'll tell you and maybe they won't. But if they don't, you have to keep trying.
Yeah.
You can't just say, my kid doesn't want to talk, because it's too important.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so where do you start? For someone, I'll use myself as an example, where this has never been modeled to you.
Right.
What's the, like, say we're having a conversation about sex, of which I think is a challenging one to have with a young person.
It doesn't have to be, and I keep saying that, but if you start when they're little, this is your body part, this is what it does, this is how beautiful you are made. Nobody touches this but you unless you give permission. Like a doctor, you have to take care of that part right away. Weave in consent as they get older, and that doesn't have to be sex. It means, did your friend tell you they were going to take your book bag? I mean, you have to teach these things all along. When they get to the point where you've got to talk about sex, and that's right around puberty, because if you don't do it then, they're lost.
Right.
You need to be aware of the fact that they don't know what they don't know.
What they don't know. But here's the other thing too, and I thought this was really surprising because one of my kids learned about third base on the school bus at 8.
Of course.
And so this is the kind of thing
Sex Ed 101 is the school bus.
Is the school bus. They're going to hear terms and phrases, and like you mentioned, if they don't have the knowledge to back that up, then they're going to learn it from their friends in a different way that isn't going to be maybe what your standard of safe, healthy, happy, consensual.
Exactly. So if you explain to them that there's nothing that they can come to you with that would upset you. And you have to school your face to not look shocked. That your love for them is unconditional. It doesn't matter what comes up. If they hear a joke they don't understand, that they laughed at, but they still didn't get it, come to you and you'll explain all the dirty words. You'll explain all the things on the bus. You're not afraid to say it. You're not scared of the topic. And they are okay no matter what they ask. They're okay no matter what they do. That is important. You build up fear with a young person. They're not going to come back to you.
They're not going to come back to you.
Doesn't mean you're not still the parent. You're the parent. But you have to do this with phenomenal love and respect.
Yeah, and I think if you're lucky enough as a kid to have a sex ed course in school.
Well, I've taught a lot of that.
But I often think that it gets a bad rap. Sex gets a bad rap because we talk about all of the things that could go wrong, but not about how it should be in the context of a loving relationship and all of the things that are great about it.
We have to be careful with the love word, though, because sometimes parents say, you know, you make babies when 2 people fall in love and then they make a baby. You got to get rid of that part, because then when young people get old enough, they think, I'm in love, I have to do the sex thing. That's not true. Love and sex aren't the same. And we need to teach that. My favorite age to teach is 6th grade. Because they're so full of it, they really are, and they need you so much, and they'll hit you with questions, and I love that. That's my favorite part. But again, as a parent, don't have a talk.
It's an ongoing conversation.
Absolutely. This is your baby. Love your baby and teach them.
And I want to just, these are not, Nani?
Nani.
Okay.
I have 6 grandbabies.
And so these are some of your books. I mean, you care so deeply about this topic and about education. That you've created your own books on this.
And they're very helpful. They're for parents and kids to read together, not by themselves. The other book is for child abuse prevention. That's taught in schools. What I want adults, all adults, to understand that this doesn't have to be controversial.
Right.
If I only have a little bit of time, sometimes schools will say you can see them twice, all right? Zingo, I'm going to relationships.
Yeah.
What is love? How do you know when you're in love with somebody? How do you know if that person's important enough for you to connect with? What is intimacy?
Right.
A lot of adults don't have that answer.
No. And again, because I think it comes back to the not having the conversations when we were that age.
Right.
Thank you for the good work that you are doing to help this next generation understand it better.
Thank you so much, ladies.
If you are interested in checking out some of Dr. Mary Jo's books or booking her for a speaking engagement with your teens or kids, we're going to have more information on our website, kdka.com/talk.